Okay, shalom.
Shalom.
So, hope we have to. I need you to help me in understanding of Revelation 17. You know, I used to discuss a lot of messianic in various places, but it is not that easy for us to understand it better. Although if you are asked by someone to explain or to explore, it is not that easy. Yeah. So that's why when I was in Bomet, I was told by Busene that you'll be able to answer that question. Yeah, because you know the understanding is different. You can see someone have gone beyond in research and also understanding the scriptures spiritually. Yeah, because gifts are different. Yeah, so not all people understand this Bible clearly. Yeah, so that's why I was very glad that if I will understand this chapter, it will be much better. And that's why our fellow brothers was really participated that if you will read to Pastor Isaiah Bor, you will be able to answer that position. So here in chapter 17, especially verse 9, then up to I think up to 12. So it said, here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short space. So we have to go step by step. Yes. So which mountain are these? What does this mountain stand for? Yeah. So verse 10, 7 king, 5 are fallen. Which are these 5 are fallen? 7 king and 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come.
Yes.
Yeah. And when he comes, he must continue a short space.
Yes.
So this is a contradiction. So may you please, yeah. So you are much welcome to answer that.
Shalom.
Shalom.
We have heard from the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 9, where it's talking of the 10 kingdoms, the 10. The Bible is telling us that, and here is with the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman sits. So in this case, this is a beast, the 7-headed beast, which the woman was sitting on.
Yeah.
And this beast had 10 horns. But now John here is telling us about the 7 heads, and he's telling us that these 7 heads are the 7 mountains, which the woman sits. First of all, before we proceed, we need to understand who is this woman sitting on the mountain. So when you go to chapter 17, verses 18.
17, 18.
Verses 18. Can you read?
And the woman which thou sawest is that great city,
Yes,
which reigns over the king of the earth.
So when the Bible tells us that the 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman sits, it is telling us, in other words, that these 7 mountains are 7 mountains which the great city is sitting on. And that great city rules the kings of the earth. So according to our understanding, in our simple understanding, which city sits on the 7 mountains? We know there is a city in the world which was situated in the 7 mountains. It's a 7 mountain city, which before going even to further understanding or spiritual application, we can understand that Rome is the city which sits on the 7 mountains. And that is why John was showing us as a city before we go to a spiritual understanding of this city. So when we go further, having understood that this Roman town or the Roman town, the Roman city sits on the seven mountain. John continues to tell us the internal meaning of the seven mountains, and he's telling us that in verse 10. And there are seven kings, and these are seven kings. I don't know, read in your Bible, verses 10.
Chapter?
Chapter 17, verse 10. We are now
continuing. We are continuing.
Okay. Verses 10.
And there are seven kings, 5 are fallen, and one is. So and the other is not yet come.
And when he comes?
And when he comes, he must continue a childish pace.
So this woman sitting on the seven heads, or sitting on the seven mountains, if we understand the city to be the town of Rome, because that is the city in the world which sits on the seven mountains. But the Bible is telling us this mountain, these are seven kings. John is telling us that 5 are fallen, one is, and the other one is coming. And he's telling us that when he comes, he will continue for a short space. Now, during the establishment of the papacy, that was way back in the year 538 BC, AD, when the Justinian wrote a prominent letter to the Pope of that time, the Bishop of the Church during that time, offering him to unite the Church and State. During that prominent letter, the Pope of that time really agreed. Justinian was the Emperor of Rome. And that was now the first head. Because during that time, Pope agreed, they form a united Church and State unification. That is, the Roman Church and the Roman Empire. They form a kingdom. This kingdom is termed as papacy. It is an empire.
There is something also. There is a very small confusion on that verse. You know that seven mountain, which refer to be as seven kings. Some people understand that these seven kings refer to the seven horn, which the 3 horn has been plucked out, which is Eruli, Bandal, and Ostrogos. So how do you understand that?
Before we come to that, we don't want to go to that fast. Okay. I want us to understand this out the succession of the 7 heads, because as John is applying, he is showing us that these 7 heads, these 7 kings are successive. They come in successive manner. One succeeds another one. The other one succeeds another one. And then it is the 7th. But when you go to the 7 holes, they was ruling together. When you go to England, you go to France, you go to Germany, you come to the Roman head, the Roman hall, I think they were ruling at the same time. But you know, the prophecy, I think to understand the prophecy, a prophecy can be seen, but it has a different application or different interpretation, which are also right. Or different application at a certain time. So when he talks of the 7th head, he's telling us, the 7 horns, he's telling us now that the 5 kings are fallen. Another king was in existence in the time John saw, not exactly the time when John saw the prophecy, but the time at the time John was referring. Not that time when he saw, but the time when he referred to the prophecy. Not that during his time, the 5 were fallen, and then one was in existence. No, he was pointing to the time he referred to the prophecy. Okay. So during that time, when the Roman Church united with the Roman Empire, the successive kingdom now started. From the Justinian Emperor, who was the Roman head, and then after Justinian, there was another empire from the Frank or French, I think so. It is the Frankish head. And this French head, there was an emperor who was called Charlemagne, who was powerful during that time. He was a strong, powerful ruler in the European. And he became united with the Roman Church, because most of these kingdom, they were only recognizing one church, which was the Roman church. And they were seeing that for you to be strong, you need to unite with the Roman church. You need to have a church in your kingdom. And the church was Roman church. So when Charlemagne was crowned in 800 AD, he became united with the Roman Empire, and that was the second head, the Charlemagne. And then after Charlemagne, we came to another kingdom in Europe, which was termed as the Holy Roman Empire that time. This one was from the German, and we can term it as the German head, but it was termed as the Holy Roman Empire. I don't know why they call themselves the Holy Roman Empire. The German head, Otto the Great, it was crowned in 962 when it was crowned. This is now the third. Because John was telling us 1, 2, 3 to 5 were fallen. So that is the third. After the third, we came to the Hohenstaufen Empire, which was in existence in 1152. That is the fourth. And then after the fourth one, we came now to the Charles V. Charles V was coming from Habsburg dynasty. And he was also a person who was strong during that time. He was a young person. He came into power. He ruled from 1519 to 58. When he was defeated to rule the power, he resigned. He went back to the monastery. He continued with the monastery work. So that was the fifth head, where John was referring in the prophecy that 5 are fallen, 1 is in existence. So we could now see that the one which was in existence by that time was the Austrian Empire, because they were recognizing the Roman Church, and they was taking it as a national church for the kingdom. So that was in existence in around 1648 to 1806 AD. And then the seventh one came, which John was saying the seventh will come, but it is there for some time, for a short time, because he's saying 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other one is not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short space. So this seventh one was to come and continue for a short space. After the Austrian head, the Napoleon came during the end of the Dark Ages. Napoleon was from France. He was crowned in 1805. He wanted to rule the world like other rulers, because he was somebody who was thinking he could rule the world. He tried to conquer the world. But now, instead of making the unification of church and state like the other head, instead he persecuted, he broke that unit, that church and state unification. He imprisoned the Pope of that time in an island, and now it was seen as that this head was wounded. So this is the time when Revelation chapter 13, verse 3 was referring. When verse 3 was saying, if we read verse 3, he's talking about the seven-headed beast, 10-horned beast, and he's telling us in verse 3 that, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death.
13 verse.
13 verse 3. And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like to the beast, who is able to make war with him. So, chapter 13 verse 3 is referring to the seventh head. That is the Napoleon head. When Napoleon ascended to power, he broke the purpose. He wanted to rule as a civil power only, nothing connected to religion. So he wanted to rule as a civil leader. That is why he imprisoned Pope of that time and thrown him to the island. I think he died there. The papacy died until now, when the head was here. So this seventh head is the one which was supposed to be healed, and it has been healed.
Yeah.
Because the Roman in a different form now. in form of Protestantism and Catholicism has been revived. We are seeing Pope having some powers. He has some conviction in the world. So the church is now being fed in its strength. That is the revival. This 7 head, the Bible is telling us that when you go to verse 11, it is saying, and the beast that was and is not, even is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and he goes into petition. So when it says the beast which was and is not, you see, the head was carrying the beast. When the Roman head was in existence, that is the life of the beast. When the Ottoman head was in existence, that is the life of the whole beast. So when it tells us that, and the beast that was and is not, so it was in existence. When the 7th head was wounded, it was like the beast died. That is why it is saying the beast which was and is not. So the time John was referring in the prophecy was not in existence, because the purpose was broken. Napoleon brought the unification of the church and state. So the beast was not in existence. In another scripture, it is telling us that the beast went into the bottomless pit, and afterward he will ascend. So this ascension from the bottomless pit is the revival of the Roman Empire through the Protestantism, Catholicism, and also the powers of Pope being fed to form another unification. But people will see as if it is not the Roman beast. It is the 8th one. This is another beast, the 8th one. But John is telling us, no, it is the 7th. So though it is seen as the 8th, but it is the 7th. This is still the 7th head. The Napoleon head, but it was wounded, but it will now revive the purpose. So I think up to that point, if there is any question you need clarification on it, maybe I can give you more clarification.
Yeah.
But it is a short verse, chapter 9 to 12, but if we don't understand very well, we can become confused or we become mixed up.
Sure.
But everything in the Bible, it is correct.
Yeah, sure.
And it is organized. As the Bible says, our Elohim is not the author of confusion.
Yeah, sure.
So no scripture should give us confusion in the Bible prophets. Everything is in its clear explanation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and Isaiah Bor. So thanks so much for your contribution on this explanation. So I have understood it.